Welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to unpack a really fascinating, highly strategic source document. It details the future business model of the European inland shipping industry, leading right up to the year 2050.
Yeah, it's a massive look ahead.
Right. And well, let's unpack this right out of the gate because we are starting with a massive paradox. Did you know that 58% of all European inland freight companies are based in the Netherlands?
That is a huge concentration.
It is. And over 40% of them are single-person operations. We are talking about solo operators navigating these massive waterways, which brings up a huge question for you, the listener, to consider. How do these independent captains afford a highly expensive transition to zero-emission shipping, especially while their traditional cargo, like coal, is vanishing?
Exactly. It's the ultimate adapt or die scenario. I mean, you have this highly fragmented, centuries-old industry facing really stringent climate mandates.
Yeah.
And individual operators simply don't have the capital to completely rebuild their fleets from the hull up.
No, of course not. But here's where it gets really interesting. I was looking at the sources, and the solution isn't necessarily buying new zero-emission boats. There's this completely different approach called energy as a service or a pay-per-use model, and it revolves around these things called ZE specs.
Right, because that's the only way this actually works financially. You're taking a solo captain who can't afford a massive permanent battery loan, a huge capital expense, or CapEx, and shifting them to an operating expense, an OpEx.
They essentially just subscribe to energy.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
These ZE specs are modular, 20-foot containers holding 2,000 kilowatt hours of energy. That is enough power for about 2 to 4 hours of sailing. And when they run empty, they simply pull up to a station and swap the container for a fully charged one in just 15 minutes.
It's essentially treating ship propulsion like modular server racks in a data center. You just hot swap the energy pods and keep the entire system running. We are already seeing this in action too. The ship Alphenar is currently sailing using this exact swappable container model to transport goods for Heineken.
What's fascinating here is how this physical hardware connects to the new digital infrastructure. To make a swappable battery network function flawlessly, well, you need perfect timing.
Right. The coordination has to be exact.
Precisely, which introduces the digital twin concept. It is a real-time digital replica of the waterways that tracks water depths and currents, allowing AI to tell the ship exactly how to optimize its speed and fuel consumption.
So it reaches the next battery station right on time.
Yes.
That level of data sharing paves the way for what the sources call the physical internet expected by 2040 or 2050. Instead of a captain blindly hunting for a job, the cargo essentially organizes its own optimal autonomous route through the network.
Hopping from ship to terminal completely seamlessly.
Yep.
And it's a good thing this network is getting smarter because what these ships are actually hauling is drastically changing.
Because of the drop in fossil fuels.
Right. As fossil fuels disappear, waste is becoming a primary feedstock for new energy, replacing that lost coal revenue for these captains.
The shift to a circular economy is massive here. There's a potential to move 874,000 tons of household waste onto the water in the Netherlands alone.
Which completely changes the financial realities of shipping. With European Union carbon tax prices sitting around $95 per ton, cutting emissions is no longer just a regulatory cost.
It becomes a revenue stream.
Exactly. We're seeing things like carbon credits and book and claim biofuel models. This means a captain can burn green fuel, and a corporate client across the network can pay for and claim that specific emission reduction for their own corporate climate goals.
So a solo operator could essentially be getting paid to transport household waste and getting paid extra by a remote corporation to do it cleanly.
Precisely. If you're wondering what this means for logistics outside of shipping, this is the ultimate case study. It proves that any legacy, highly fragmented industry can survive modern climate mandates.
Yeah, they aren't doing it by stubbornly holding on to physical assets.
Right, they're doing it by embracing data, shared service models, and collective innovation.
So what does this all mean for us? We are watching the rapid evolution of the traditional lone wolf ship captain into a high-tech, data-driven logistics partner.
It's an incredible shift.
And it's happening incredibly fast. Semi-autonomous sailing trials are set to begin as early as January 2025.
Just around the corner.
Which is wild. So we'll leave you with this final provocative thought to explore on your own. If a centuries-old industry of independent freight captains can successfully transition to a physical internet where cargo routes itself on rented swappable batteries, how long until your personal daily transportation and your household deliveries operate entirely on that exact same subscription-based self-organizing model?
Good question.
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.